Hello and welcome to a special bonus episode of My Hollywood Story. I'm Stacey Wilson Hunt. This episode features an exclusive Q&A between the Oscar-winning costume designer Ruth E. Carter and the Soho House West Hollywood members who attended her live taping in November of 2025. Listen in as Ruth reveals her approach to building a character's personality and background into her wardrobe designs, most recently in Ryan Coogler's Sinners. She also discusses her process for choosing projects and the secret to infusing joy into her work.
Hi, thank you for being here. My name is Courtney King. I was hoping if you could touch upon how you translate a character's personality, background, and role into their story and into their wardrobe.
The character that comes to mind with your question, thank you for your question, is Annie in Sinners, and who is a hoodoo worker. She works in the community, her community, and people in those communities during those years. Just at the Depression, and throughout the South, throughout the years, there was someone in your neighborhood who you went to for either advice or healing or medicine, and she was that person. So as we crafted her character, we thought about like her presence as a strong woman, as a community healer. We researched other hoodoo women in cinema. We saw like Diane Carroll and Eve's Bayou playing it, and we really wanted her to look different, to be different, to actually be a little bit more relatable. So I didn't want to give her those typical things like a shawl and a turban and third eye. We really we tried them, and it just didn't feel right for her. So the fitting process is a transformation process, and so once we put the turban on her head and we took it off, and we saw her beautiful woolly hair and her skin, and we thought let's enhance that. And the Haint Blue was also a part of her environment and a part of her story of, that blue color that they paint doors in the South and window shutters in this turquoisey Haint Blue is what they call it, to ward off the evil spirits. We also wanted to bring in indigo and the connection to Africa. So her costume looks very much hand-dyed. Her skirt is like an indigo. She has a lot of that color as well as the Haint Blue. And we gave her for the juke joint of feathers. I'm abbreviating because it could go a lot deeper and a lot longer. But feathers, which also represent some of the pieces that hoodoo women use to invoke spirits and to bring healing and life. And she had the beadwork. She had the kelike beads that are from Yoruba, which is her origin. Her parents are Yoruban, from Yoruba, and practice Yoruba. And so the beadwork that she wears around her neck is those kelike beads. Just little things like that, We are kind of like Monday night quarterbacks, as you would think. When you're researching, you have to research very quickly. You have to commit to things that make sense. And you work together very closely with the actors, and you bring all of these ideas together. And, she came in several times, and I felt like we have found her life, and we could only pick two costumes that really spoke to her character. She wears a belt with like lots of things, like a tool belt, and if you would, where she's got a knife that she pulls out onto smoke, but she also has her own mojo bag. And she represented like community, because people didn't go to the doctor when you're a sharecropper. You went to the root worker, and that's seen in so many cultures. And so those were some of the ingredients that came together when we started building her character. And it was no different for Pearline or Sammy, Smoke and Stack, any of the characters that come into my fitting room. I'm having a conversation with you. I'm having a consultation. We're talking about the origin story of your character. We're talking about who the parents are, where they're from, what the socioeconomics are of the times. All of those things play into who you look like right now. So, or what you look like right now. So that's how I do it.
Brilliant. Thank you.
You said orange. My hair is orange. I thought you were talking about me. Hi, Ms. Ruth, Princess Monique.
Hey,
I love you, and you're one of my sheroes. And I found out this morning, like when I first woke up, that you would be here, so I had to throw something on.
Good.
Of course, to support you.
Thank you.
But my question is, for someone like you who has worked on such big, major movies, elevated projects, the best stuff. What is your process for choosing a project? And of course, I love you and I have a movie, but I just think about how to entice or to present the right thing to a person like you to say, I gotta do this type of movie. Is it just the subject matter, or is it you got the big budget, or, what is your process to pick projects?
What is the pitch process too, in a sense?
Yeah, you can. Right. That could be a double fold. Yes, thank you.
I think that choosing isn't what you think it is. We're not saying I'm going to choose Black Panther over something else. I think that you have an intention and you are going in a direction of which your art is speaking to you in a certain way. And so you are a combination of the projects that you are on. Sometimes you're not choosing them. Sometimes people are choosing you, and it's based on the aesthetics that are important to you. So I feel like when I went in on Black Panther, they didn't really know very much about me until I got to the meeting and they saw the work that I have been doing in my research and my way of collecting for Black Panther. I feel like it's never been a choice. I decided to do the 5 Heartbeats. They came to me and said, I see the artistry that you are trying to do, and therefore you're the right person for us. I don't think there's a way in. I think that you're living your art. You're living your decisions about not doing something. Maybe it's a process of elimination. I don't do a lot of television because sometimes I feel like I can't think that fast. But it's movies that I like to take my time with and really explore characterization. So maybe this body of work that I have amassed has led me to the Ryan Cooglers and the Black Panthers, you see? So I'm not saying I'm going to pattern this together to get that job. I've already got that job because I've gone on a journey that's true to who I am as an artist. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I would love to say, do this, and do this, and go in the room. And sometimes it is a matter of putting your portfolio together, in files or in some kind of digital display and some kind of website. But honestly, the conversation too has a lot to do with how you communicate and how you converse as artist to artist with a director. And it really does boil down to the director and you. Because that's the communication that continues throughout the process. So they really want to find someone who they align with. And so that alignment happens long before. So you just have to keep going and keep doing and keep being true to who you think you are as an artist. And those projects will come to you.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen.
want to stand up to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. My name is Salim Kirkland. My question, and huge fan of your work. My question is kind of inspired by, I have my first child coming in February.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Kind of the state of the world is always on my mind. It's crazier than it's ever been as a black man in this country. But I have good friends like my psychiatrist friend here who's all about like creating joy and building joy. And that's where my question comes from. With your work about black futures, but your work has so many films. Even to I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which is joy and funny and silly, it's Black Future and Thurgood Marshall, right? My question is, what would you say to a young person, your nieces and nephews, my child coming, about creating and keeping and building joy with all of this stuff in mind, you know?
Yeah, art can be very cathartic. In my toughest times of life, I have leaned into my art because it's a place where you can sort out your feelings. And I would say to my younger self and any other younger person who is passionate about pursuing their art, whether it's visual arts or cinema arts, that they become a student of their passion, that they continue to find the joy in their specific choice, and they pursue it from that perspective of finding joy. So any project that I'm on, I'm finding the joy in it. Whether it's creating the goldfish shoes, or it's working in Wakanda, or it's creating Malcolm X's life from Alex Haley's book, or Tina Turner's life, there's a overarching sense of joy in the process. And so if you don't like it, don't do it. If you don't want it, don't take it. It's really your passion that leads you to the results that people feel. I took a class that was the psychology of art, and they asked us to think of a sentence that someone has said about you that you didn't like, and write it down. Then come into class with a collage or a painting or something that disputes that claim that person said. And we showed our pieces to each other in the class, and we were asked to guess what the person might have said about what that statement was. No one could guess. No one could guess. So that told me that you can pour yourself into your art. You could dispel the myths of something that someone said, or any kinds of things that you wanted to feel differently about. You could pour it into your art and be free, because people would feel it, they'd see it, they know something was there, but they're not so specific to that thing that it is. So it's very cathartic in that way, that it allows you to, I paint, like my brothers. I still try to be my brother. And
by the way, do your brothers give you some legitimacy now that,
no.
2 Oscars?
Sorry.
No? Geez, they're
No.
tough customers.
My brother he's like, you're a messy painter. You're a messy painter. But, when I'm having trouble, I have the best art that comes out of it. So I that's what I would say. Follow your dream.
I think we have to wrap.
Sorry, I'm long-winded.
No, we love it. And I'm just deferential to your schedule, but I just want to say thank you so much. I feel better having been in your presence today. I feel happier and more joyful. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. All right. We hope you enjoyed this special installment of My Hollywood Story. Thank you so much for listening. My Hollywood Story is a production of Hippolyta Films and Entertainment. The series is written, produced, and hosted by me, Stacey Wilson Hunt. Executive producers for Hippolyta are Sonia Slutsky and Wendy Green. Series producers also include Daryl Young and Janet Grayson. Our camera operator, sound mixer, and editor is Ramiro Cantu. Original music for My Hollywood Story is by Madi Gabriel and Jenny Carr of Moon and Star. Our logo design was created by Brad Mitchell. And I would like to give a very special thanks to Soho House West Hollywood for being the official new home of our show. We couldn't do it without you. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a review, and let us know what you think.